What is up, guys? It's your boy, Rick. Honey, where is my super suit? Cactus here. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button to support the channel, and let me know what you think my next intro should be. That comment section, it's out of control. Alright, today, we're going to be showcasing some very important information that really any Destiny 2 player should be aware of, and that is a batch of weapons that we just found out. If you want them, you're going to need to get them before the Witch Queen launches. And I'm not just saying that in the sense of, oh, they're really good and you want to be able to use them in the Witch Queen. To a lot of them, that does apply. But Bungie is literally removing them from the game. Well, you're still going to be able to use them, but they're no longer going to be able to be acquired. Now, of course, with the launch of the Witch Queen, a lot of current stuff is rotating out, especially all of the seasons that occurred within Year 4. So, of course, the batch of weapons that was introduced in Season of the Splicer, since those activities are not going to be in the game anymore, obviously, you can't keep farming chroma rushes once the Witch Queen launches. I'm sure a lot of us already knew that. But this new batch of weapons that Bungie came out and told us about after the new TWAB was released, by the way, great information in that, guys. Check it out. I've done a video, new Nightfall weapons announced and everything. But this batch of weapons has to do with non-rotating playlists, evergreen playlists such as Trials of Osiris, Nightfalls, and Iron Banner. So let's get into that list. Firstly, in terms of Trials weapons rotating out in the Witch Queen, we have the IGNEOUS Hammer and the SOLA'S Scar. So, for the IGNEOUS Hammer, this is a solar 120 rounds per minute aggressive frame hand cannon, and this was literally like the best PvP weapon in the game for a considerable amount of time until 120 hand cannons were nerfed. I still see this being used every once in a while. It still certainly is one of, if not arguably, the best 120 in the game for PvP, so if Bungie ever buffs this archetype again, you're going to want to have access to this. However, moving on from there, the SOLA'S Scar, this is another pretty unique one. It's a caster frame sword, so the heavy attack will shoot out a spinning vertex of damage. And this can get some pretty saucy rolls, especially because it can actually get chain reaction where killing enemies causes them to explode in that last perk slot. So you're basically turning your sword into almost like a rocket launcher, and you can also use stuff like Big One Spec if you get the Adept version, and caster frame swords as an archetype actually got buffed recently where they require less ammo to do their heavy attack. So definitely a one you may want to go after. But guys, moving on from there, a bunch of Nightfall weapons are rotating out with the Witch Queen. So you're not going to be able to get the Swarm, the Shadow Price, the UZUME, and the Hung Jury once the Witch Queen launches. And again, we have some very solid weapons here. So the Swarm machine gun, it's a high impact frame, 360 RPM, and it can actually get the very solid role of just an extended mag perk plus Bottomless Grief, which always is going to spawn because it's a Nightfall weapon, and then Vorpal. Guys, if you combine those things, as you can see, I have a static 74 round magazine. All the time. I don't have to do anything like Ambitious Assassin to activate it. I just always have 74 rounds of Vorpal weapon. If machine guns ever get buffed in PvE, this is going to be a very solid player. Also, getting access to Adept Big One Spec is going to matter as well. Then we have the Shadow Price. Now this is a 450 RPM precision frame auto. I love this thing. I actually put this in my top 5 weapons of 2021. Like, I use this thing so much. It's one of the best auto rifles for high level content. It can get overflow plus 1 for all. And guys, with an Adept mag mod, I'm getting 90 rounds with my Shadow Price, and then 35% extra damage with 1 for all. Just absurd. And again, great if auto rifles are a featured anti-champion weapon. I've used it in plenty of GMs. And then the UZUME RR4 is genuinely one of the best snipers in the game right now. What I'm showing off right here for this adaptive frame 90 rounds per minute sniper is the PvE god roll. I have triple tap, or I can just use Bottomless Grief. So just like the Swarm, right, I put on Bottomless Grief, which again is always going to spawn because it's a Nightfall weapon, and I get 7 rounds in a magazine with either appended or extended mag, and then Vorpal all the time. So every single magazine, I don't have to trigger anything like Clown Cartridge or triple tap or anything. I just get an insane 7 rounds with Vorpal every single mag. Yeah, this is something you're probably going to want to get, and this sniper has juiced stats, like just more range than like every other sniper of its archetype, so you can get something like, again, Vorpal weapon or explosive, and then snapshot sights in that first column, and that's going to be a PvP all-star. And then of course the hung jury, guys, we know that anti-barrier scout rifle rounds are coming next season within the Witch Queen, and the hung jury is one of the weapons. I actually made a video about some of the best legendary weapons you can get that are going to be good for anti-champions. Like the hung jury is one of them. It's a precision frame, 180 RPM, a scout with just, again, unbelievable stats, like just literally better range, better stability than pretty much any other weapon in its archetype, and it can get the role of rapid hit or even just Bottomless Grief again, and then explosive. Explosive is so darn good. The actual explosive damage has infinite range. It gives you 10 to 15% more damage against PvE enemies all the time. This is going to be one of the best anti-barrier scout rifles in the game next season. Mark my words, it is definitely something you want to go after. However, something to note specifically about these Nightfall weapons is that Bungie says the reason they're being removed is of course to reduce clutter in the playlist, so you wouldn't have to wait like a whole month before the weapon you wanted rotated back in as a reward. However, they actually say on occasion Xur will offer these for purchase with a random roll. So not all hope is lost if you can't get him before the Witch Queen, but again, the chances that Xur appears with one of these 4 weapons and with a goated roll is definitely pretty small. However, of course, if he does, I'll be the first to let you guys know about it. Moving on from there, guys, going away from Nightfall, the next category is Iron Banner. So here are the Iron Banner weapons rotating out. So the MULTIMACH CCX, the Time Worn SPIRE, the Guiding Sight, and the Steady Hand. Remember, guys, there is one more Iron Banner happening this season. It's happening the very last week before the Witch Queen launches on February 22nd. So the MULTIMACH CCX, guys, this is one of the most devastating PvP submachine guns in the game. It can get absurd range. Like, as you can see, literally best in archetype range for a 900 RPM lightweight frame. And on PC especially, where you don't need that much stability, you can absolutely map people. Then we're moving on to the Time Worn SPIRE. Rapid fire frame, 540 RPM. So in PvP even, it can absolutely shred people, but I have the PvE god roll here with Subsistence 1 for all. Very, very capable weapon, and going to be able to function at a lot closer ranges compared to most other pulse rifles. So definitely, again, a pretty solid weapon. The Guiding Sight, however, this is a high impact frame, 150 RPM scout rifle, kinetic scout rifle. 150 RPMs just aren't that good in terms of scouts, and frankly this thing doesn't have that amazing of rolls. You can get something like Iron Grip, which I do have, which is going to give it much more stability than pretty much any other scout rifle in its archetype, but yeah, this is something I'm not necessarily going after. But then the last weapon here, the Steady Hand. This is another 120 RPM aggressive frame hand cannon, so similar to the Igneous Hammer we looked at, but the Igneous Hammer, of course, is going to be an energy weapon, and this is going to be a kinetic weapon. And this can also get that Iron Grip, so similar to the scout rifle, but you could argue that it matters a little bit more here. Like, look at my stability. And I have ricochet rounds as well. This is basically going to be the best stability you can possibly get, right, on a 120. So especially if you're on console where stability matters quite a bit more and you want to use a 120, a Steady Hand with Iron Grip is going to function a lot better than, again, pretty much everything else in its archetype. So potentially this is something worth going after as well. And so guys, that is it for our look at all of the different evergreen playlist weapons that are rotating out come the Witch Queen. So again, if you want to get those, great idea to farm them now before they're unavailable. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.